Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, and hello around the world. This is your boy J.I. coming to you live
What do you call a rooster that's looking at a big row of romaine?
boy.
Like a row. Chicken Caesar salad.
And on the screen, we have my boy John. And from the Sophisticated Grizzly, we got my boy Dearest Teddy. And of course, in the corner, the other grown man who comes from around the land, our boy Van Gogh. What's up, my bro? How you doing? John dropped out again. How y'all doing today?
Uh, yeah, I'm a little under the weather, my brother, but I'm a troop through it for as long as I
Or
can.
avocado. And then it's
Yeah, doing pretty good. Kind of a busy day, but for the most part, everything's been all right.
the big thing for me.
All
I
right,
didn't
so
even have that over the top in this competition.
and if you got something to say, oh, you can do
Focus on my take was it's really a shame. So I'm going to add elements that are already adding some lemon zest and my and then just like a so I'm going to be salty and sweet.
and I think it's
I
because
even need one for my
part of it is
chicken.
because of
This looks
the fact that we have been brought in our face with our topics. Thanks to these guys, we are basically three photographers on the set. Van Gogh's a photographer and also a creative. Just Teddy is a singer. He's a podcaster. He's a baker. He's a writer. He's a lot of things. Always ready to have him. And of course, we have in the corner the cameraman CLP. He's one of the photographers that works right here out of our studio as well. But before we get into this nice subject, which is model safety, because I think all of us here at the Grown Man Click have a different way of looking at this situation.
And
So,
it really reminds me of
what's up?
who I've been. I had a roof terrace just like
How are
that.
we sounding to you guys? Somebody said the sound is messed up.
It's kind of low, brother. It's like it sound like y'all talking in the back, like in the background, like you're not close to the mic.
Okay,
One little second. One little.
let's see if we can fix that right quick.
All right.
Uh, how's that? Is that better?
You still sound a little far away, but I can hear you though. I can hear you pretty clear.
Huh?
I say you still sound a little far away, but I can hear you pretty clear.
Really? Because it sounds good in here, and we don't even have it cut up loud. Uh, we'll be tweaking it during the night. We'll make it sound better if we can.
Right, right, right.
We gonna make you worry.
So anyway, as you know, when we always when we're on here, we start off with what did you do this week? So we want to know what we did to each one of us, did between the podcast. So we're gonna start with you, Scott. What was your week like? What you been up to?
Went back to work finally. Hate going back to work after vacation, but Mass Creation was on the move this weekend. We had a video shoot. Had a birthday shoot yesterday.
Oh, I found it. Hold on, we getting ready to make this sound go right. How's that?
That's perfect, brother. That's
Yeah, there we go. We can cut y'all up a little bit more too. All right.
Sometimes we just gotta play with it a little bit.
perfect. I don't like how that sounds. Rich. I don't like how that sounds, bro.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
go
like
right
how that
ahead
sounds.
and give him your rundown again, Scott. Now that they can hear us clear.
Work, video shoot, karaoke,
Hey,
birthday shoot. What else we do? We had it popping this weekend.
Yeah,
man.
We out here in these streets.
Rich.
Yeah, man. I ain't do too much this weekend, man. I worked my ass off pretty much. I'm shooting a movie right now
Right,
for
right.
one of my partners, and we've been working. We've been on set all weekend long. Thursday, not Friday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Long shoots, everything. And from that shoot, I came in. My '90s karaoke was here, and
Oh yeah, the '90s
we
karaoke.
we tore the house down and shit. You feel me? It was
That's
fun.
what's up.
It was fun. I enjoyed myself. That was actually my first event. and I'm pretty proud of it. It came off. It came off. So I want to shout out to my team. Also, Jay stepped in and he helped out a lot. He grabbed the mic. He sung a couple duets.
I sung a duet. I told my wife I sung a duet so she'd know that I sang with some girl in case a video showed up. But it was one duet, Sheila. I promise.
No,
Anyway.
it was perfectly friendly and professional. But we had fun.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Good living.
Yeah, good vibes only, man. Good vibes only.
So as for me, as you know, I actually have been living and breathing in Mass Creations, multimedia, and event studios over the last couple of months. So Friday and Saturday was regular work days, here. And like I said, I was with them. But yesterday I did something I hadn't done it since before Christmas. And I actually took a complete 24-hour day away from this place and got me some rest, chilled out. I probably even look fresher. I'm not yawning in the middle of the podcast. I look a little bit fresher. The only thing is that my wife's going to kill me. I haven't eaten yet today. So that smell that you may be smelling wafting through the air and coming through the airwaves is me cooking chicken tonight right here live as we tour and scream because I need to eat.
And we grown men.
And we grown men, and that's what we do. So, but it was a really good weekend, and I ended it today with a great photo shoot with B. Mila, and we did her birthday shoot today. Did something totally out the box that she doesn't usually do, and I also finished editing a music video for a young lady. Can't give you too many particulars on that because it's not been announced what it's for, but you'll be finding out pretty soon on that. But that was a great experience. Me and Scott put the footage together for it, and then we went back in and did some re-edits today, and now she's completely happy. So, it's been a great time. Any of y'all want to share what y'all did this weekend?
Well,
John, no. John. All right, what you got, Van?
Yeah, so this weekend I was working on a guy's koi pond. I don't know if a lot of people know. I actually work as an electrician during the day. He had a couple of his aerator pumps go out, and if anybody knows anything about koi fish, they need that circulation to actually stay alive. So it was kind of, go out there and dig a trench to refeed a whole koi pond. And as soon as I got done, I actually dropped my phone in the pond and had to get a new phone. So,
wow.
Yeah. And I was supposed to go back out today and run an internet line from his house out to his garage. And, I couldn't do that because I didn't have a phone to contact him. But he sent me a message once I got my phone up. And said that he's going to be available like Thursday, so I can go out there Thursday and finish that up.
All right, cool. All right. Well, Grizz, I know you're not feeling too good, so we're not going to ask too much of you tonight. But what you do this weekend?
Well, I've been putting. I can't really hear.
I said, what did you do this weekend?
Well, this weekend. I've been putting together everything that I need to put together for the SOS Club, for the Sexy on Swole Club, for the big fellas out here. Who, You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of big fellas out here, and people don't give us the kind of love that we need. As far as
that boy love.
That's right, man. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they feel like we can't put the clothes on. You know what I mean? We don't know how to put it together properly. Understand this. Big men are sexy too, baby. So y'all gonna understand once I put this all together, and it's gonna be for tips for big fellas that may not know how to coordinate their clothing, may not know how to put on the right, cologne. Just confidence building tips for fellas that go out here every day. That might be on the thicker side, and it's also for anybody. It's for anybody that might want any kind of words of affirmation. Any kind of confidence building tools, things of that nature. It's for everybody. It's for the thick madams too. It's for the big ladies too. So you get out. The SOS Club will be starting real soon, and I'm getting my shirts and everything made for that. And I'm just putting something together with Lady Shy for certain fellas that join the club. We're gonna have a platinum club, a gold club, and a white club. When you get the platinum club, that's when you get a free class with Lady Shy. 2 free classes with Lady Shy. I pay for them, you know what I mean? So it's actually worth the money that I'm asking for everything. So yeah, I'm getting all of the details ironed out right now, but just
that's what's up, man. That sounds like good.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Word up.
Yeah. So anyway, just to let you know, tonight we are going. Well, first of all, we haven't toasted, and you
Nope.
know we can't do what we do with right here on the Grown Man Click without our first toast.
And
So
that.
why don't we grab them drinks, put them up in the air?
Yeah.
Grown Man Click, clink, clink,
Boom.
to a good
Clink.
show,
Yes,
to
sir.
good conversation, to entertainment, and to make sure we keep people educated.
Yeah.
So
That's right, Van. Tip
this
it up, yo.
this show may be oh, by the way, Anthony, thanks for the birthday greetings. Um, I don't think we're gonna do flowers and powder today. I think we need to dive right in, get right on the subject, get it off the ground.
Right.
I was expecting to see some. Hey, David Smokes is in the house, but I was expecting to see a couple models on here who said they were gonna come through. Waiting to see if they are, but you know what? Maybe we just got to go into this and see whether or not anybody will join us as far as the models, because it's more about them than about us.
Well, I gotta look like Cole, man.
Well, you gotta look like Cole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott looked like Cole from Martin. Little as a trip. Well,
All right,
anyway, well, there's this situation that's been going on for a while in the model community where there's been a lot of talk lately and chatter about creepy photographers, unprofessional photographers, sexually charged photographers, sexually inappropriate photographers.
Hey, Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
We
I don't
heard.
know I don't know if it was me, but everybody just started glitching really bad.
Are we good everywhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah, I mean, I
man?
see
Throw up a
everybody's
thumbs up.
everybody's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Like,
but whatever is going on in these streets, we thought needed to be addressed. And the one thing that we did really want to touch on is the model safety groups. I am all for people being safe, and I'm all for people trying to get a better way of being safe, especially when there are a lot of models that work with common photographers, common artists in this area or in any area. And there's never been a problem, as far as I know, with making sure you check you and make sure you're going into a safe environment. But I do take a little issue with groups that put photographers on a list without knowing what their vetting process is. Case in point, what we've heard of a photographer who had a run-in with a young lady. They had a session. And once they finished the session, he showed her the pictures. Everything was good and everything. When he talked to her, because even though this is not what we do here, most of us don't do this. He only gives like 4 or 5 edits. Period. He doesn't give you any raw images, no JPEGs. He gives you the edited images, the images he wants you to have, and that's it. And so I believe he gave the young lady 5 images. She was like, "Where are the rest of the pictures?" And he was like, "That's what I told you I was going to give you." And she was like, "But I thought you said you were going to give me 5 edited images, but I thought I was going to get all the rest of the images." "Yeah, no, you getting the 5 images." Well, from what we heard, if I'm correct, the young lady was so disenchanted with her experience and not getting all of the images, she got onto one of these safety groups and said he was inappropriate.
Right.
And the next thing you know, models aren't working with him and pulling his card. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And I mean, this is my check right here, because it's not like something I'm making up. The gentleman had a camera in the studio. And when he posted the video from her session, he only got within 3 feet of her one time. And that was, well, actually, it was 3 times. He shook her hand at the door. I think he fixed her hair once.
Right.
After asking, because it was you could hear audio.
Yeah.
And then at the, they got close when he was showing the images, and then I think he shook her hand or something at the end, but he didn't give her a hug or nothing. He just kind of shook her hand.
Right.
Where was the inappropriate behavior on that? But he is now on a list that says he's an inappropriate photographer. Why? Because in this case, and I'm not saying every case is like this, I'm saying in this particular case, someone didn't like what they wanted or what they got, so they decided to use a tool that was meant to protect women to get back at somebody.
Yeah.
So there was no vetting process if he was immediately put on that list.
Right.
And if 3, 4, 5, 6 people got mad at him for doing the same thing, but he's never deviated from being respectful and taking good pictures and making sure these young ladies had exactly what he promised, where's the issue?
Yeah.
So that's part of my thing. And I want to go around the room and just ask everybody. I mean, we are definitely, hopefully, because guess what? All of us except for Grizzly could be on a list right now.
Right.
It could have been a model that you had words with. It could have been a model who you canceled an appointment with. It could have been a model who asked for too much when you were trying to give them some advice, or didn't like your advice or whatever. And you could be on a list and you not even know it.
Right.
I do this full time. So if you put me on a list, I could lose out on revenue.
Right.
And he's not the only one. It's a big issue. I've been out here in these streets doing this thing in this area for about 7 years. And this is a persistent issue. I mean, it goes through ebbs and flows and highs and lows, but every few months or so, something else pops up with not saying any of the accusations are false, but there have been at least 3 accusations that I know of in the last 5 years that were actually proven to be false. This being the latest one. But one went as far as this photographer lost his military career behind something that ended up being proven to be false.
Wow.
And he ended up having to move to a different area of the country. So no one is disputing the need, the necessity, and the urgency of model safety.
Right.
We personally all advocate for model safety. We all conduct ourselves
above reproach. Somebody needs to be let in.
Right, keeping model safety above report, keeping model safety up, forefront of our minds.
Right.
And I'd like us to welcome one of our esteemed models, Ms. Jasmine Perez.
What's up, Jazz? I know I'm not on the screen.
What's going on? I feel like it's been a minute. Hey, everybody.
It's the first one.
My bad, Jack.
Your first time at the Grown Man Clique. How you doing?
Hi, I know. And it's been so hard because I've been on third shift for me to even tune in. So this is my first time really here, and I'm here. So hi.
Yeah. Looking like you getting ready to go out and do a modeling gig, but you got to go to work after this, right?
No, actually, I'm off tonight.
Oh, cool. So good. You get to hang out with the Grown Man Clique for a while. I'm coming in now. Here we go. So anyway, I don't know how much of the conversation you've heard. I'm glad you did come in. You said you would, so I knew you would be here. But we were just giving a couple instances and talking about people who were put in model safety groups as photographers to watch out for, who were totally vindicated and exonerated of doing anything bad. So as a model, what are some of the things that you think? Because even if you have a horror story or something that you like to share, we'd like to hear it, because as photographers, we could be on the defensive. Well, as a matter of fact, that's the key. We need people like, you who have worked in many states with many different photographers to let us know, because we don't know the vetting process for these safety groups. We don't know if it takes this many amount of
bad experiences to get you put on a list. We don't even know if we're on list because we had a bad experience with one model or whatever. We're not looking to find that out because if we're on the list, our reputation will speak for ourselves. But as far as you and your experiences, what do you think about the vetting process for being accusations towards the photographer, and also your experiences with most photographers out here?
I'm gonna start by saying the Me Too story is all too familiar in the model community. It seems as though a lot of models have dealt with some kind of inappropriate touching comments, something of that nature, unfortunately, when they have been networking, working with a photographer. Thankfully, I've never dealt with anything of that nature. I try my best to research the photographers that I work with, whether that be other photographer or other models that have worked with them, just to kind of get their background. And I definitely thoroughly look at their portfolio, their online portfolio, just to know that they are legitimate and that they have, they have work. It's just really unfortunate. And as far as photographers being vetted and who's on these sites and things of that nature, I feel as though all it takes is one. So that's why you guys have to be really, really fucking cautious. Excuse my friend. You guys
No, you're
really
fine.
gotta
We
be
fucking
like
cuss all the time on
on
here.
the on the fence. Like you have to just be aware of the way you conduct yourself because all it takes is one person to say this person, touched me and you could have just been trying to maybe fix a bra strap or you know what I mean? You might not that wouldn't have been your intention, but that's not how they took it. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
well
So
and
just
see
be
that.
mindful.
Wait a minute. I've got a follow up question to that. I'm glad you mentioned that. As Jay mentioned a couple minutes ago, should a situation like that happen, how does me for instance,
I'm having connection issues. 1 minute. It's hard for me to hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear him or can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you. Yep, now I can.
Move your mic a little closer. Maybe that's it.
All right. My question is, if I get put on a list, how do I find out whether I'm on that list? And if I'm vindicated, if I can prove that I didn't do what I was accused of doing, how do I get off the list? Do you have any idea?
Right. Honestly, these groups out there are meant to be out the way for you guys. It's not to be in your face. Like it's to be private. So to say like, could y'all find out about it? I would say no, unless there's some big mouth models out here that are running around, telling the biz, spilling the tea. Like, no, you're not gonna find out. How do you get off of the list?
Yeah.
I think like once when it comes to the industry, once someone has a bad taste in their mouth, once there's a bad word out there about you, it's almost kind of like you're shot in the foot at that point. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And see, that is my main problem with it. And it doesn't mean that I don't want y'all safe because as you know, you've been here countless times. How many times have you walked to your car by yourself? None.
Oh my God, never.
Right. How many? We carry your bags. We walk you to the car. We make sure you're safe. We ask you if you feel comfortable. Tell us when you get home. We don't tell you to call us like we're your boyfriend or man. We say if you feel comfortable, let us know. And the problem with this is that one and done should not be something that makes you a bad photographer, especially if there's not a pattern of bad behavior. So Jasmine's having bad problems with her connection right now. But part of the problem is that with photographers and how we see it is that we know bad photographers. I vet every photographer that works in my studio. So and people tell me, well, this photographer changes his name every 6 months. You don't want him in your studio. Well, this photographer does this, that, and the third. We know bad photographers, so we don't let them in our studios. But there are models out there that could have one bad experience, misinterpreted experience, or a factual experience. And this photographer's career could be put on hold or killed or, worse. and it's all and it's all up to the people. I say if you're going to have a safety group, you can't just be the police. You've got to be the police and the detectives, because we have police that police the police. Am I correct?
That's true.
Internal affairs.
So if you're going to be out here saying this guy's a bad guy because she said so, what background or what back stuff do you have to support that allegation?
Evidence.
You need evidence. And believe you me, you know, I treat all of you girls and women and young ladies like you are part of my family when you walk in the door. There's a lock on the dressing room door. There, you have free range to bring someone with you when you come in. Never turned anybody away except for if you've got bad behavior or someone has been, you know, rude to somebody in front of me. I don't want them back in my studio. I don't care if it's your boyfriend.
Right.
But the whole idea is that if you're respectful of the process, you're respectful of your woman, you're respectful of my studio, you're welcome back every time you want to come in with your significant other. So
For
my
me,
thing is that, yeah, go ahead.
sorry. For me also, it's like I like to make my own judgment on people. So it's like someone might say one thing, but if I haven't seen it personally or they haven't done it to me directly, it's like I will still work with that person. But in many cases, a lot of models see that as bad, like that's wrong and I probably shouldn't do that. Once you tell me, you know, that this person is bad, I should just automatically leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I feel about that, because there's a lot of haters out there, and there's a lot of
We can hear you, John. Give her a second. Go ahead.
there's a lot of haters, and there's a lot of like buffoonery out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so what to believe and what not to, you know, I don't know.
And see, go ahead, John.
Yeah. So to touch on what she just said, now I've gone to certain people. I'm not going to get into any specific details. After I've been given verified information on somebody, and I've let the models know, hey, if you get involved with this person, this is what's up. And I won't do that unless I've got good, solid information. But it's to make sure they're safe. I realize people are going to do what they want to do, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. But that's how I operate. Because I've heard a lot of, just pardon my language, a lot of fucked up stuff, and
Right.
just it's really fucked up shit. And some of it, I can verify personally.
Right.
So. But
that's
yeah,
why I think it's so essential to do the work and do the background work before you get on these sets with these people that you have never met before. Look at their portfolios, reach out to other models that have worked with them as well, and just kind of get an overall sound, so you know what's going on before you get there, before you get into the situation.
I mean, just like with me, I believe that if you are working with a photographer, or you're vetting a photographer, and you say, hey, can I bring someone with me, and they tell you no,
that's
a
negative.
red
flag.
That's
automatic.
a red flag. That's a red. We all know that. That's a red flag.
No, they don't, because these people still go to these photographers.
And I'm still hearing stories about that, where the models will ask, if they can bring somebody, and there's always some kind of friction. If not just an outright no, there's some kind of hesitation. And if that's the case, that's just not somebody that you work with, in my opinion. Period.
I mean, I've had some situations here where they bought people that I really didn't feel comfortable shooting the kind of material that they wanted me to shoot in front of these people, because either they were underage or they were their children. But that I've told you on occasion, Jasmine, that there have been times when people have brought their kids to shoots where they wanted to do lingerie and boudoir, and I'm like, oh, we're not doing that today. I'm putting a dress on your ass, because to me,
there's a time and place for everything.
Well, I don't care if he's sitting there watching Dragon Ball Z. He can see you walk out the dressing room. your daughter, can see you walk out the dressing room. And I've even had this conversation where I don't think it's wrong for you to teach your children to love your body and respect your body. But when they see mommy go into a room, come out of a room with different clothes on that exposes parts of their body that they usually see when mommy's in the bathroom, and this guy takes pictures of her and she's smiling and she's allowing it to happen, they don't have the same cognitive reaction to that as we do. They think in their mind, it's okay if somebody wants me half naked in front of a camera smiling because mommy's doing it.
Right.
Right. Right.
And that's not what you're meaning. That's not what you're sending out there, but that's what they're getting. So you got to watch the messages that you're sending to your kid. Be inclusive, be loving. Tell them their body is a temple. Tell them there should be no shame in your body. But watch the mixed signals, because you could add detriment to your kid because they don't know how to process seeing something like that at 6.
Right.
Now, if your 16, 17, 18-year-old daughter is here with you to fix your hair, do your makeup and all that, that's different. They're at a different cognitive level. And I'm pretty sure you will tell them, if you take your clothes off in front of a man like this, without me being there, without it being an appropriate situation, I'm whipping your ass. Or whatever you do to admonish your child. I'm still whipping. So and my daughter's 35, I'll whoop her. Yes, I will. Because I love her enough to protect her that much. Anyway, I mean, like, this is a pretty deep subject. And I wanted to make sure that we give it the seriousness and it needs to make it important.
Before I leave, fellas, I do have one question, though.
Yeah.
Do you guys, as photographers, have that kind of a list for models?
I haven't seen it.
Now, see, this is the difference. For the most part, we definitely, most of us know, like, the photographers will ask each other, hey, have you worked with such and so? Yeah.
Right.
We want to stay away from her. You know, she came in, me walking drunk. We had an issue with her. You know, she did this, that, and the third. So, yeah, we don't have lists like that. For the most part, our word of mouth game is strong, and plus, we are a smaller congregation than the models are.
Right.
Like, we are groups. There are different groups of photographers. Like the Mass Creations photographers, we all work out of my studio, and we all sort of work other places, but most of our photography basis is here, so we work with some of the same models, some of the same creatives, and if someone new comes in, they're usually a referral from another creative that we're already working on. And they're still vetted. Go ahead, John.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so on that note, it's perfectly fine for the photographers to ask for references, just like the models do for their photographers. I've done it. I'm not going to lie. There's one or two people that I thought they might have been kind of shaky. You know, so you know, I asked a few people, and the word came back, and it was positive.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, photographers can do that as well.
I vetted John before you started working here. I vetted.
Nah, I paid you. Nah, that's bullshit. I gave you. How much money did I pay you for that?
Not enough.
Not enough.
I paid that tour fee, remember?
But see,
no.
and that's the whole idea. How much? And Jasmine, you can answer this too, because how many of those models have put themselves in that situation because it's a paid gig? Because there's money being offered, they may take a bigger risk because they know they're getting paid to do something.
I mean, it happens. Like it could be someone that, you know, you're not really familiar with, like a first time photography situation, and they're paying your rate and you didn't really do the work. You just see the dollar signs, you know what I'm saying? And you bite the bullet and you go for it. And if you do, it's never happened to me, but I've heard stories, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like something as far as a photographer turning the lights off and masturbating
Wow.
while shooting. Like I've heard some really like repulsive stuff.
The one that we saw, all of us saw, I think, in the one TFP group where the girl said the photographer masturbated and actually ejaculated on her.
Wow.
Oh no.
And yes, and I'm like, well, there's a 4 or 5 month story to that we don't know all about, because that's a lot of time. I'm not saying a lot of time between, what went on, but I'm saying there's a lot of things that happen in the course of somebody doing something like that that could lead you to get out of the way and get out of that situation,
Right.
because that's just a little much. But that was actually in a non-private group that was on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, for real. And the whole idea is that people actually did say, well, baby doll, you laid there, and they were model shaming a little bit, but I'm like, both of them were at fault.
Right.
He wasn't being respectful of the art craft, and she didn't respect herself enough to go out and run and get away from something like that. I know that, there's fear in the moment sometimes, and you can get, what they call trauma,
Fight or flight.
trauma paralysis.
Yeah.
So there
Well,
is
here's
such
the
thing
thing.
as
Well,
trauma
yeah,
paralysis. So I understand that maybe she was like that. So I'm not, believe me, I'm not siding with the photographer at all in this point. What
Right. I
I'm
was just going
saying
to
is
say,
that
even in that situation,
it's a lot of pieces to that puzzle that just seemed weird to me for it to come out like it did.
What's up, John?
What's up, John?
Oh, so in that situation, I mean, regardless of, whatever she was going through, and this is my first time hearing this, so, but
It was
the
all over
bottom line
Facebook.
is,
Am I lying?
the bottom line is that sounds like that's something that just shouldn't have happened, period. And again, I only have what you guys said, just talked about. But at the end of the day, the photographer is responsible for actions.
Definitely.
Well, for his or her actions.
Right.
Yeah, because don't forget, there's some female photographers out here too.
Right.
Well, when I say photographers, I do mean all of them, everybody.
Oh, I wasn't addressing that to you. It's just that usually when you hear about creepy photographers, it's more or less thought of as a male thing. But there are some creepy photographers out here that are females who prey on women as well as maybe even men.
What's up to?
I've heard one or two stories. I don't know if they, if they're true or not, but I have heard.
Right. We've all heard stories, but like when these things that we are talking about here, when I'm opening my mouth, they were verified stories that either we witnessed or we saw on the internet in our groups.
Right.
So I'm not talking about third-hand information. I'm talking about being a part of that information.
I have a list.
Right.
I have a list of models that I ain't messing with.
Yeah.
Like
Who
her.
said I vet models before? Or Anthony Little said I vet models before working with them. What's up, Kamara Hill? Hamilton is on here, and she's had some instances. I wish you would have jumped on here, Kamara, because I mean, she has made her instances that she's had to deal with public and put them on Facebook in her or YouTube in her her vlogs, where
As she should.
And she's had instances where the guy was trying to get her in his car. Right. For no apparent reason, to sign a piece of paper she could sign in the building or on and you can say if I'm telling the truth or not about this, Camara, because that's what I want people to. I'm not just talking to be talking. These are actual instances that people have told me about or I've witnessed firsthand. She had her significant other with her who was also there to witness it. So there are some people out here who may act like they don't believe that, this is exactly what's going on. And I'm not trying to be like that, but the picture they paint is horrible.
Right.
And guess what? We as photographers, we sort of know the red flags. If a girl is like, well, what can I do to get more extra? What can I do to get more extra edits? And they're not talking about paying for them.
Mm.
Right.
I'm like, it's nothing you could do. I mean, maybe Jasmine. I'm joking, Jasmine. You know, you my baby doll. I love you, and all you gotta do is ask for an extra edit. But and it's still grown man click. You're a beautiful woman, and I'm sure that guys have tried to use that to their advantage to try to get a phone number or whatever.
The point is, everyone.
I mean, I feel like in some cases, photographers sometimes do struggle with separating the business from the pleasure. So we just have to remember that this is a business and
Right.
act accordingly.
But I'll tell you one thing. I will be a lot, and everybody knows I got one of the bluest mouths in this room. I curse like a sailor. I joke real hard, and I've picked with Jasmine to the point where she was like, "Jerry, you're crazy," but she will tell you when she is in the midst of a relationship or a significant other. I even don't. It's how I talk to her in text messages or even in person changes and
switches up.
becomes really respectful of her relationship because they don't know that I'm joking.
Right.
And I don't want them to ever mistake our relationship for being inappropriate because the last thing she is inappropriate. I could see her kicking a guy in the dick for doing something stupid, but she's never inappropriate.
Oh, you don't have to
So,
worry about getting kicked.
yeah, you should worry about getting kicked because if you do something wrong, it's
I'm
gonna happen.
saying you don't have to worry about it.
So, oh, I'm sorry. Let me get Van.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the Facebook comment right there where it says, would it happen more with lingerie and news versus fashion? Since I've done quite a number of actual fashion shows, um, with fashion shows, it happens, I want to say, a little bit more than people actually realize because people change clothes so fast. Like you're in the dressing room, you're running in and out. There are several different designers back there, and the model is having to change clothes. Let's say they got 6 designers, then they're back there 6 times. So, you see them running around sometimes with nothing on. Sometimes some of the models actually wear pasties because they've learned I don't really need to show all this. But yeah, I've seen it happen at fashion shows. I went to one in Fredericksburg, and a model and one of the photographers were there, like during the intermission, and they actually went up to like a closed area in the building they weren't even supposed to be in, and were like messing around with each other. Granted, it was consensual, but it messed up everything for everybody at the show. Like, they were like, we don't even want the entire group back. And some of us were like, we didn't have anything to do with that. And we didn't know, like, what was going on. So, how is that, like, putting a mark on me when you're telling me what someone else did and I really didn't have anything to do with it? So the fashion shows can get kind of tricky because there are a lot of people there and there are a lot of people walking around and doing things, but especially at big events, an event can get shut down because of 2 people just doing something that they're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
So that's the case of consensual but still inappropriate.
And this is the whole idea. Well, first, let me give some love because we've got Ron Pringle in the house. We got Kayla Pennington in the house. We got a couple comments that we're going to post that Kayla put up, and Anthony Little, of course. But what I wanted to also address about it is that if you're consenting adults, there is nothing wrong for if you're approached correctly to your level of satisfaction and you find someone attractive that you're working with, having a consensual adult relationship with them. That's not what we're talking about here. I could care less. I know photographer friends of mine who go, yeah, I fuck my models if they let me, because they're in single relationships. They're not in a relationship, they're single, and they're talking to these girls saying, hey, this is what what I do. If you want to go out, have a night out on the town, we could go out, but I find you interesting. Do you want to date me? And they do it. I would never. I'm married. I can't. But I'm saying, Rich, would you date a model if you were single?
If I was single,
If you saw somebody that was attractive and you thought that you might want to take them out on a date? if you were single, because Miranda, don't kick my ass. He's not single. So, when you were single, would you have dated a
Um,
model?
I wouldn't date a client, but if I met her to date her and then she became a client, it would be a little bit different. But if I
Okay.
met her doing like a photo shoot, I probably would never approach her.
So, would you, T?
No.
You would
Oh,
not date a model.
like Rich said, if it was someone that I was working with while we're on the paper, no. On the stage, no, because that for me and my process is inappropriate. Simply because of simply because of what we're doing. Now, should a situation develop as we're working, that's something different. But like Jay said, we want to clearly differentiate consensual situations from inappropriate behavior, because Van just gave us a perfect example of a consensual situation that was completely inappropriate.
So can I cut you off right quick, because I just want to thank him, because this is one time where I am going to actually ask you to bow out gracefully, Grizz, because I know that you're not feeling well, and this subject is Grizz is well versed in a lot of subjects, and he is familiar with the photography industry. But we told him going in, this was going to be a photography deep show. We wasn't going to be talking about tits, ass, grass, or cash. We were going to be going into our photography world, and so he wasn't feeling good. But guess what? Every week, without fail, no exception, except for his birthday, and I wouldn't have been here on my birthday. He was here. So he's not feeling good. He's getting ready to bow out. But before you go, can you please tell
Get
everybody,
well soon.
Thank you. I appreciate
let
it.
everybody know where they can catch all of us from Van, me, Grizz, Chris, T on Wednesday nights?
All right, this Wednesday, I'm pretty sure I'll be feeling a lot better.
Y'all all over the place.
We have the Sophisticated Grizzly podcast on Wednesday at 8:15. And this week, we were supposed to be talking about it last week, but we had to switch the subject up because I'm not the only host of this show. This is what Shasha wanted last week, and I thought did well. But this week, we're going to be talking about whether in a relationship, do you consider sex
Payment.
the sex as a payment?
Right.
Or can
Yeah, we be getting it deep in these podcast streets. They don't know the Grizzly and the Grown Man Clique. We be getting deep.
Yeah, so
It's not just about having fun. It's about exploring the human diaspora in a way that people don't expect, especially coming from my stupid ass. They think I'm just going to be joking.
Yeah,
What?
So we're going to figure
What
out
did I do this time? What did I do this time? What did I do, Grizzly? What did I do?
You didn't do anything, brother. I didn't say anything.
They over here saying, there he go again. I don't even what did I do?
No, it's the big words, bro. You didn't
What
shut
big
Rich.
word?
You shut Rich brain down just now with that big word.
What did I say?
I had an adolescent.
Just keep going. We back on the topic.
A big word. I don't even remember saying a big word.
I believe it was the word diaspora, bro. I believe it's
Diaspora is a big word to y'all. Y'all need a dictionary and a life. Good lord.
Look,
Anyway,
I would love, of course, I would love for everybody to show up. Everybody's welcome to talk about this issue. And like I said, either sex is a payment or can it be considered a present? We'll figure out this Wednesday.
All right, and we will definitely be there. Grown Man Clique will show up in full force. We back off of vacation and stuff, so I think we all gonna be here. And we just like to thank you for because we started our podcast because he told us to get off his podcast basically and start our own podcast. He said y'all strong enough to do this yourselves. So we love we definitely love your support, and we need to bring Van up here every week so he can sit on the panel with us because he is definitely GMC.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Van be starting shit though, man. You gotta watch Van.
Yeah, you gotta watch his ass. He be back here starting shit with his pussy jumping up on the refrigerator. You think we didn't notice that? We saw that.
That shit was funny. That was funny. I was like, is that a big ass rat? What is that?
He do not live in the hood. Do not paint my boy like he live in the hood.
I'm proud of myself. I try to ignore it.
Is that Chihuahua? What the hell is going on right now?
Hit that Van. The next comment on Van. Hey,
I'll see y'all later, man. Y'all take it easy, man. I'll
All
talk to
right,
you.
love you, man.
Love you,
Feel
man.
better. Give my love to Kat.
Thank you.
All
I
right, bro.
appreciate it.
So now we got to go down the list. Can you tell us who's on the screen and hasn't been liked? I see. Oh my gosh, the Harris Tribe Media Group is on here. Mrs. He said, we are loving the fact that you're here tonight. They are the Harris Tribe Media Group. Thorough salute to you guys. Y'all have an amazing podcast. I mean, the two of you together, the two of you separately, the barber shop, and then the shame room. I mean, gosh, that the Harris Tribe Media Group. If you ain't in these podcast streets, you just don't know what you're missing. They are amazing at what they do, and I'm just so happy that they jumped in and said hi to us. They're probably on their way to another podcast, but they jumped in and say hi to me. I love it, and they say hi to you, and they say hi to you.
Yes, sir.
And let me
Hey,
tell
Jerry.
you, they be getting it. Yeah, what's up, John?
All right, let's. So if you read the comment that somebody just left, approaching them in work,
That's Cam.
approaching them, I guess in the workplace, I feel breaks that professional barrier. And
Absolutely.
so when it comes to having relationships, I mean, you're there to work, not date.
Work, not jerk. Yeah, I understand that, but guess what? A
Those
lot
are
of
your
people
rules,
meet
not
this,
mine.
but you gotta understand this, John, and don't think I'm not making light of this. I'm very serious about this. A lot of people have met their significant others at work.
Okay,
Jerry,
and that's fine, and
listen,
that's fine.
is it
I know
worth
where
the business
I know where you're
connection?
going. Right, I know where you're
People's
going with
working.
that. But
It's worth it?
if people cross that, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but if you cross that line, whether it be at work or as a photographer or model, it could be a fucked up situation. And the only way to cover yourself, as well as the model covering herself, is you just don't cross that line. If you
And
don't
I
cross the
definitely
line,
respect that. Go ahead.
Jasmine, you had a
then you
question.
take away
Yeah,
your
Jasmine
liability.
got something
Well,
on the tip of her tongue.
I just feel as though it's off limits because I really value my business, um, the photographers I work with. And if we have a great rapport and our content is fire, every time I go to you, we're creating magic every time. And then I break that rule and something does happen and we're physical and now it doesn't work and you hate me and now I'll never work with you again. So it's like I fucked myself for what?
Right.
For
For
fucking, you
what?
fuck yourself for fucking. But that's
Yeah,
not
but
where
I
I
just
agree with
can't.
that.
It's not even
So
worth it. It's not even worth it.
just to let y'all know, and these guys will tell you, I'm the best devil's advocate that ever existed on the planet. I am not.
No, Jerry.
I'm not for
Tell
it
it
at
like it is.
all.
You are an asshole.
Yeah, I'm an asshole because that's what my role is. I'm gonna make you think about these questions because do you know that most people did meet their significant others either working at a work event or somewhere where they were employed in an aspect that was not conducive to them meeting people. So you can't always think that. I'm sorry, Jasmine. What does your significant other do for a living? Not for a living, but what does he do? He's a rapper or a
He
performer,
runs.
correct?
He actually. You know what? You know what? It's kind of funny though that
Yeah,
you.
it's kind of
Okay.
funny though.
So
Go
wait. Okay. So
ahead.
with photography, wait a minute. With
Yeah.
photography, I would never. Like, I would never. But I will say that my
On
significant
this
other,
video
he
shoot.
runs his own business. And I did meet him. Well, I knew of him because we're kind of from the same town, so I knew of him. But he definitely was doing work at my house, and we didn't
He was
like
doing
blink
work
right
at your
away. It
house.
wasn't like that. It kind of like happened progressively over time. But yeah, mixing business and pleasure in the photography like field, I feel like yeah, that's
But
not gonna
hold
work.
on.
At least
Can I say
You're just
something?
setting yourself up for liability. I mean,
Let me no. I don't see. I understand all that, but let me just say this. Do you know that Van Gogh slept with almost everybody he ever painted?
okay, well that
okay.
asshole is dead, and that was what, like 200 fucking years ago?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did you know that Robert? Oh, let's
What the
go. Let's
fuck?
go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Did you know
yeah,
that
let's
Robert?
go. Yeah,
Hold
let's
on.
talk about some dude
Let
from
me
300
go.
years
Let me
ago.
go. Let
Okay.
me do this. Robert Mapplethorpe slept with a lot of the subjects of his photography. Andy, what's his name?
So
Andy
he was
Warhol.
a slut.
Andy
So he was a
Warhol
whore.
did drugs and had sex with a lot of people that he did photos of. So you can't always say that art and pleasure does not mix. It does. It goes hand in hand. What is a muse? A muse is not just a person you like taking pictures of. It's a symbiotic relationship between an artist and his subject. So there is a sexual or a sexual connotation to being someone's muse, whether you sleep with them or not. It's part of
No,
what we
I
do
don't
as
think that's
artists.
true.
You can't be an artist and not feel for your subjects when you are really in the deep. So I do not
Yeah, you
believe.
can
You
feel for
can
I
your
be
subject.
passionate, but to
No.
be passionate and to be getting aroused and turned on and shit, I feel like that's two different things.
in a world.
Yeah, Jay. Yeah,
In
yeah.
a
No, there
world.
Yeah,
is
Jay.
no
Hold up,
world.
hold up,
There,
hold
In
up.
a
there is no
world
Hold up,
no.
Jay.
where
Like
everything
you
runs.
gotta
Go ahead.
understand. There's a difference between finding inspiration in a person than being sexually inspired by a person. There's a difference. Like music, you ain't
We would
gotta
have
be
some of the
sexual
worst
to-
songs in the world if people didn't want to sleep
We're
with people they
talking
were
about
writing about songs
photography.
about.
We're talking about photography. No,
We're
we
Oh
talking
yeah, see,
about
mix a lot.
artists.
Well,
This is
obviously, you
about
guys know
artists,
what a
and you know
badass,
me.
like a badass chick looks
I'm
like.
gonna keep
Obviously, you
bringing it.
guys know,
but
you know,
you
but
can't
y'all are
say
professional about it.
yeah, like you gonna take pictures of people you that is attractive.
No, that's
That
not
is attractive.
true.
It's true.
Because I take pictures of people who inspire me to create art. So I
But you're
don't. The
not taking pictures of
attractiveness.
an ugly muse.
If they become your muse, it doesn't matter what they look like. That's what I'm saying. See,
So you
that's
still gonna have a sexual
there's a
connection with 'em?
connection. There's a kinetic connection that happens between an artist and his muse
Yo,
to make it
But it's
work.
not sexual. This is all
It
I'm saying.
can be.
It's
It
not
can
sexual
be.
at
Oh
all.
my gosh, how are y'all
That is
missing
not
this?
sexual at all.
And as live,
I don't think I'm not. Well, I'm not. I get what you're saying, but just because you photograph somebody doesn't mean you need to fuck them.
Of course not. I photographed you before. I photographed Bam before. I photographed Scott and I photographed you before. I don't want to sleep with any of them. And they was some damn good photography work. But guess what?
So
That's
hold
not what I'm saying. And that's we
You had
can't.
sexual connections.
No, what I'm saying is that I love you. I love you. But that
That's
don't
the
mean
wrong
I
time
want
to
to
be
sleep
saying
with you.
that. But
That's never been what I'm saying.
no, I
What I'm
understand what
saying
you're
is
saying,
that
Jerry. In all honesty, I do understand I
yeah,
understand what you're saying. I do,
right.
but there's
what
you
There are
know your
dickholes out
lines that
here
you just don't
who
cross.
manipulate it. Go ahead. I'm sorry, John.
I
I
don't
mean,
like y'all photographers is something else because you'll say one thing where it's like when you're shooting a model, she can be a 10, just bad. And
I'll find you.
you don't notice how bad she is until you're sitting down at the computer and editing these images because it's like it tapped into other things when you're shooting. You're worried about your lighting, you're worried about your camera, you're worried about, so many other things that the last thing on your mind is is some pussy.
Correct.
Right. That is correct. And it's
100%.
always been like that if you're doing the work. I always told the story about how when Sheila, my wife, if anybody doesn't know, yeah, Sheila's my wife. When I shot my first full nude set in my living room with her there. And when she saw me working, she was like, "Did you even notice that she was naked?" I was like, "Fuck no. I had 1,700 other things I was thinking about besides her titties. When I go to edit these motherfuckers, oh yeah, I'm going to know she's naked. Because that's when I have to do the work. And I have to go in and zoom in. And I'm tired of seeing a nipple 150 times bigger than it needs to be. I mean, it just don't make it sexy anymore for me. But I'm just saying we underestimate the attraction or the sexual energy it takes to be artists. I don't know any passionate artists that aren't connected with their sexual side and
Oh,
don't
for
know who they
sure.
are sexually. That's what I'm saying. So the whole idea is that usually when these problems arise in our creative process, it's with someone who isn't an artist. It's not. You have walked around my studio in the buff before and you were comfortable because nobody was gawking at you. Nobody cared about you doing that. You were going to do something else. And when we created the art, it was magic. And you never felt like you were being looked at or subjected to as a piece of meat because we
No.
are artists. But you could have been in another studio and you would have felt like you needed to put 6 coats on, 3 pair of boots, 4 pair of socks, 2 bras, and 6 pair of panties just to make you feel like you weren't being treated like a piece of meat.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when it comes to you, we've built that rapport and we've known each other for some time. So the
Yeah.
comfort is there. And when it comes to my sexuality and my body, I have no shame at all. So and our other artists, they understand that human form is art and they don't look at it in a shameful or lustful manner. So walking around in the nude, yeah, especially at mass creations, that's no thing. But some anywhere else, like no,
How to some people.
no.
Yeah.
Jerry, I think I'll test that theory. All right, I'm gonna come
Yeah.
next week and walk around naked.
What?
Guess what? I've shot Van Gogh naked. I've shot Anthony Hunt naked. I don't care. I'm not worried about the
Are you ready
sexuality
for a
of the
challenge?
person who. I
All
don't
right,
care
what
if
challenge?
I don't care if you're overweight. I just want to create art. So if you're walking around naked in my studio, we're gonna create art. I'm not scared to see you naked, John. What I'm scared of is what you might do to me because I'm sexy as shit and you're naked.
I guess. Well, I mean,
Hey,
And on that note, we're going to say hi to a couple people. we got Mace in the building.
well, remember you said that.
Big Mace is in the
Mace is in the
building.
building.
Life of behind the lens.
We got-
Life of
we
behind
got-
the lens.
We got Eric Tucker
Yeah,
in the
it'll be
building.
behind the
Oh,
camera. All
that's
right.
Big E. Big E is in the building. He
Yeah.
down in Texas, right?
down in Texas.
We got the beautiful July High in the building.
July. Hi. Okay, go ahead, girl. Yeah. Okay. I gotta shoot you next week, right? All right.
Boom.
Hey, good evening, everybody. So, and just like I believe this was Anthony Little that said this, right?
Yes.
It's not about looks, it's about vibe. How you work with somebody, how you are addressed, how you are respected by the person in front or behind the camera. It's an experience. The experience is what makes you feel comfortable. Some people come in here with their big boy drawers on, and then when they get with, you know what? It's so funny because I tell people about this all the time. Scott is one of the most respectable guys that I know on the planet, and one of the nicest men that I've ever met in my life.
Even though his football team sucks.
Even though his football teams may not be the one that he likes, but the whole idea is that when he is telling you how to pose when you are doing boudoir with him, I can't talk like that. I giggle when I hear him talk because I can't say the stuff that he says so naturally, and girls do it because it's not inappropriate because of the relationship he's built. But you know me and Jasmine, you know, like when I tell you to pose, I never talk about a body part, do I?
No.
I tell you I might say hip, I might say shoulder, but Scott will say, all right, so move your ass up a little bit. All right, turn your ass this way a little bit. You don't be, and it's because of the way he addresses it, it makes it right.
How about we let Scott say it?
Yeah, see, it don't even sound right with me saying it. I sound weird. You know, it sounds weird with me because that's not how I talk to models and how I address models. And guess what? When he does it, I'm sitting there in awe because they'll just go, "You mean like this?" No, a little bit higher. Okay, is that better? Oh yeah, that's it. You know, that's the difference. The way you build a relationship and a rapport with a model, that's how you build the relationships that last. That's how you become able to do the things that we do and create the art that we do. And we try to stay away from those instances where we could be looked at as part of the we're getting put on the blacklist.
It comes down to personal accountability. Each and every time I pick up.
No, yay.
Damn.
I hit the wrong button. That was supposed to be a yay.
Each and every
That's
time
Jerry's advocate.
we pick up the camera, each and every time we work, regardless of who we work with, regardless of what the symbiotic relationship is, regardless of the vibe, regardless of the rapport. We are there to do a job, just like John said. He is absolutely correct. And if you conduct yourself each and every time the same way you would conduct yourself in a job interview, the same way you would conduct yourself on a freaking subway, the way you would conduct yourself on a damn construction site or anywhere else, you'll be fine, regardless of the attraction you might develop with someone that you work with a lot, regardless of anything. Because guess what? Nothing goes above your personal accountability. You're an adult, act like an adult, act like a responsible adult, and you'll never have a problem.
Seriously, no, for real, because it's so many people's perception from the outside that have nothing that know nothing about the photography industry that think automatically that you guys are a bunch of horn dogs, dude.
Absolutely.
Like
I
that's
could
just
care
what
less
they
if you look
think.
like naked. It's harder for me to do my job when you're naked. I've got to be way more methodical about how I approach a situation when you're naked. You make my job a lot harder because I can't mask anything that's wrong with you when you're naked. Put some fucking clothes on so I could take a good picture. I'm serious.
And
You
then
know, the difference, but not with you, Jazz. Jazz, we know how much work you've done to be as beautiful as you are because we started out this journey basically years ago. And from where you are to where you were to where you are now, we've all seen the growth and the potential in you going as far as you want to go in this industry because you've made that commitment to make yourself over and make yourself the model that you wanted to be. But can we go there? Because you know me, not you. You know me. Y'all all know me. I'm going there. Don't tell me that because you're getting chubby and you don't want to go to the gym and you don't want to do the work that you just embracing your natural body. No, you're being lazy. You're not doing the work that models need to do to look good in clothes so that Van Gogh can make a piece that fits you just like he makes a piece to fit the other model. So if it doesn't look good on you because you say embracing your natural self, you're not being a model. Models don't embrace their natural selves. They better their natural selves so that they can take pictures that look great. Jasmine just dropped off. She know what I'm talking about. But I'm
Wow.
telling you the truth. You cannot always say that you're just embracing your natural self and not doing the work that models need to do to be professional.
That only
Some
work with your
some
body.
I love BBWs. But to BBWs work too. They work hard to maintain their body shape.
No, that only works with your body. Hair, go ahead, embrace that shit. Man.
Huh?
I say with hair, go ahead, embrace that. I'm with you. I'm with y'all on
Natural hair, but with your
that.
body, you definitely have to take care of yourself. You definitely have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, so as far as it goes with me, I have shot nudes before, but I really can't do anything with them because I make clothes. So for me to take like nude photos is almost pointless. So it almost has to be a request from that model. Hey, can we do this? Can we do this? So that I can use it for this because I feel comfortable shooting that with you. Sure, I'll shoot those for you, but just know I can't do anything with them. I'm trying to keep you dressed because I can't sell clothes if you don't have them on. So it I don't want to say it's weird, but with my situation with me being more of a clothing designer than anything, I'm trying to put clothes on people. Um, but I will shoot those new photos for those specific people that feel comfortable doing that. And a lot of the times, I don't even ask. It just comes up, and I'm like, yeah, we can do that, or let's try this, or I'll even send some people some ideas. Hey, how about this? How about this? That way I know what their comfort zone is and what their comfort level is. And then even before the shoot happens, it's a yay or nay before anything even comes out. That way they know what they're doing. That way I know what I'm dealing with before the shutter ever gets released the first time.
Right. And
like
there
to
are
have-
models that I've never seen naked
I like
because
to
I don't
have-
care.
I like to have conversations with my mom.
Right.
So I want to know exactly what we're doing, what is it for, and where we going with this.
Right.
I like to break it all down. So when y'all get here, I already know what's
There's
gonna
no
happen.
confusion.
There's no confusion.
Right.
And when you get here and you change your mind, you want to do something else, that's another conversation. We're just going to keep having these same conversations. That's how I like to work.
And that's a very professional, it's a very methodical way that everyone should work doing what we do, because every step of the way you should know what the hell's going on, and the person you're working with should know what the hell's going on.
That's right. Just like
that way, there's no ambiguity.
I've actually had moments where I've
Jerry,
talked to
Jerry.
John when he was here doing shoots, and I've talked to him about stuff that I think that he should or should not stand for.
Oh that was a fuck up right there. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's certain things that you should or should not stand for, because you should not be taken advantage of just because you're in a situation, and you also want to help people. You're in a situation.
I think I remember. I think I know who you're talking about, or I remember.
But
it was a learn. You know what? It was a learning experience.
Right.
And now I know, but it was ridiculous all the way around.
Right.
I know better, and that shit's never gonna fucking happen again.
Right. And that's the whole idea. And I didn't do it. Did I do it in front of anybody? No.
No, you did it the right way.
Yeah, me and John talked
the right way.
Right. And that's how you're supposed to treat situations like that. People are just, I mean, well, let's look at this comment right here. I don't shoot nudes or lingerie unless somebody asks and someone they trust to shoot them. And that's how I am. For the most part, I have an office full of clothing. Why would I buy all this clothing to want to shoot you naked? I don't need you naked. And we have had this conversation on more than one podcast. I don't need to ever see you naked because I style people. I buy clothes. I have boutiques that want me to shoot people in their clothes. Van Gogh brings his stuff up here by the boatload, wants me to shoot people in his clothes.
Yeah, there's a whole tote of my stuff sitting up there ready for folks. And I'm working on like 4 or 5 more pieces to actually bring up there on Wednesday. So there's always something new up there.
So let me cover your ass in some Van Gogh and let's do some hot shit. We don't need to see your ass naked. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a full-grown ass man. I love seeing a beautiful form of a woman in nudity. That's fine. But guess what? If we're not shooting for purpose, if we're not shooting for content, if we're not shooting for a reason, I don't need to see you naked. Dressing rooms have a door on it for a reason. So avoid some of the problems. I know we haven't really gone off the track. We're just, these are all instances where photographers, because the photographers and models that are on this podcast tonight, they are getting something out of this.
Oh yeah, Kamara, you do have to get up here.
And Kamara, you do have to get up here. You've been busy working, and we miss you because Kamara, I mean, she's an amazing model. She should be in print right now. She should definitely be in print right now. And not just the magazines that we get her published in, but I'm talking about national print.
Yeah, I think I've got 2 of her outfits actually up there that I made for her. I think it was last summer. They're up in that box of mine.
We missed you too, Kamara.
Yeah, we missed you too, but I'm sorry. I'm eating a little bit of food because this is the first meal I had today. I cooked chicken fresh today, Van Gogh, so you missing the fresh chicken.
JP back.
It's my brother E.
I hear that a lot, that we are fully stocked like a professional studio, but how many people are going in the studios and can't get a brush to do their makeup, or can't get a safety pin, or can't get a bobby pin? Why are these people calling themselves professional studios if they're not equipped to accommodate a professional model?
Jazz, let me apologize for my brother for running you off. I don't know. He started going off, and then your camera just went crazy. That's a joke.
But
welcome back,
but Jasmine, I mean, you got to admit, there are models.
I apologize, y'all.
No, but there are people out here who say they're models and they're not models.
Right.
Because they don't, just because you buy clothes and you go to a photographer who takes pictures of you does not make you a model.
Oh, there's a whole lot of that going around. Let me tell you, a bunch of people who think they have a bunch of Instagram followers or whatever that are getting commented on by people who aren't even in the industry. Well, I've got this and I've got this and I've got this. but who have you worked with professionally? Like, who have you really worked with professionally to actually confirm what you're saying? Because just because you have, let's say, 20,000 people following you, how many of those people are actually in the industry, actually shot you, actually did something with you, actually like published you in something, or gave you some real photos without filters and stuff on them? So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that claim to be models that aren't.
Right.
Exactly. You're right about that.
Just because you buy a camera
Don't make you a photographer.
Yeah. If you
Exactly.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
If your camera is always on auto, you are not a photographer. If your camera is only got one lens, you are not a photographer. If you do not know how to set your aperture, f-stop, and ISO for indoor, outdoor, whether you've got a flash or not a flash, you are not being a professional photographer. You are playing with your camera. Don't play with me. You need to learn how to use that camera and use it in different atmospheres, different situations. That makes you a professional photographer.
I was going to say,
and you have to be paid, because paid is what makes you the difference between a professional and an amateur. An amateur does it for free and a professional gets paid. So guess what? There are some shitty professional photographers out here because people pay shitty professionals money to do shit. So don't get it twisted. You can be a professional and be really bad at it. There are D students out here performing surgery.
Yeah, that's true. Like when I got to Jerry's studio, the first thing I asked him, because I didn't know the lighting in his studio, hey, where do you normally set your camera at? That would give me a good baseline to actually work with, and then I'll adjust from there to what my camera's capabilities are. Because every studio you go to, there's a different amount of lighting space in there, or a different number of lights, or like ambient light from windows. So if somebody doesn't at least get that baseline setting from where they're at, everything's really like garbage anyway.
Right. And John came in here and cursed at me. He was like, "What the fuck are your settings?"
Look. I had a guy recently come to me. I had a guy recently come to me, right?
Not the fuck
we
part.
were shooting. I had my camera. I'm going in. Y'all know how I get down, right?
Right.
I'm shooting. He comes to me like, "Where you at with your settings?" I was like, "Yo, just change
I'm
the shutter
professional.
speed." I was like, "Just change the shutter speed." And he's like, "How I do that?" I was like, "Hold on." I was like, "That's your camera, right?"
Right.
That's your camera, right?
You getting paid?
Wow.
And that's the problem. And people don't understand that this is not a fashion statement. This is a lifestyle. I've got more expensive equipment in my goddamn studio than I have my car. You could buy a damn EV Mercedes-Benz 600 series with the shit I got in my studio. So when people ask me, "Well, why you ride around in a Mazda?" I said, "I got a Mercedes studio."
Listen. I said this earlier. I'm filming a movie right now.
Yeah.
But I'm using cameras that ain't mine.
Right.
I never asked how to change shutter, ISO, or aperture. I never asked.
And the funniest part is when they came in here, the people that they gave you the camera to use, they said, "He's freaking amazing. He just came in and did his thing." He didn't ask them how to use the camera, because every camera is based off of three things: ISO, f-stop, shutter speed. If you don't know those three things, get the fuck out of here. Shoot, I'm giving myself a plus for that.
Nigga, you don't know what button to push. God.
But I mean, well, we over an hour in, and this has been a great conversation. This is the Grown Man Podcast. I'm J.I. Jerry. To my right is my boy,
Fat Boy Scott T.
And then over here we have
Reggie Rich is in the building, baby.
And you know what? It's time for a grown man break. Here we go with the grown man.
Yeah, verbal threat, grown man black. This is verse. We got Raw, Jay on the beat. We got Smoke. This goes to all y'all hating ass niggas who ain't fucking with us. Check it, yo.
That's right. That's a grown man break for you right there. We just had to do that. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Bunky Jr. over west doing the Park Heights Shuffle, West Side Strut, doing what he do. You know, the Park Heights Strut is that's what it called. All right, well tell me, you over west, I'm not.
I let them do their thing. I let
Yeah,
them do their
but
thing.
you know,
I can't
he
do
does
shit.
it. That look good. He
Like,
he
I
be
ain't know.
he be killing it. He be killing it.
Like
So
my man Tone said, I'm using my knees for Melvin shit. I'm using my knees for Melvin shit.
yeah, but you know, the whole idea with this photography life, and I'm sorry, man, you should not be worried about
Pussy.
women. I wanted to be politically correct.
That is politically correct.
You should not be worried about women and getting yourself satisfied or sexual gratification when you in these streets trying to do this thing as photographers. You know what you need if you're doing this?
Joking.
You need Jesus.
Because you need to stop it. You need to make sure that you are aligned with what is professional, what's going on, what we need to do to make sure that this art, this method of art could die. Photography could die because phones are killing it.
Right.
Do you know they got a phone that takes a GPS location of your pictures when you take a picture? And if you don't want something in that picture, they have a picture of that location with nobody there. And they base a picture baseline on that time of day from your picture and take the shit out of your picture so that it's just you.
Yep.
God,
It's not like they doing dodge and burn. No, they literally have a full repertoire of everybody who stood in that same place where you stood and took a picture, and they will take that
And
same
shit is this.
they will take that metadata and take people out of a picture, and you think it's magic. No, they have hundreds and thousands of pictures to go into their AI structure so that they can take those images and put those images into your image and make it right.
Yep. Geolocation.
Yep. And you think that we can't be eliminated if we don't stay creative, if we don't stay growing the industry, if we don't stay teaching lighting, teaching, I mean, all the things that I've been taught for years and been trying to teach to other people, we could lose a whole artist compound where we are because people won't know how to set f-stops, shutter speeds. They're not going to have them on camera soon. It's going to be instant picture, period. Do you want it moody? Do you want it light? Do you want it bright? Do you want it sunny? You could take a picture in pure darkness and they'll make it bright.
Yep, that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about all these filters that they have now on a lot of these, just the apps themselves. So between the apps and these cell phone cameras, like my cell phone camera is 50 megapixels. The camera I shoot with is 24 megapixels. Actually, my cell phone camera is better than the DSLR that I have in some aspects.
But let me just dispel this. This is the most illogical shit I've ever heard in my life. It doesn't matter how big an image you have. It doesn't matter how large you blow it up. It doesn't matter what size megapixels are in your camera. The human eye can only see 9 megapixels.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you have 9 million megapixels. Guess what? The eye can't process it any higher than 9. So they're bullshitting you into buying stuff that you can't make anybody see better. You
Also,
can't.
Let me add. Like, I get these cell phones, and I ain't going against nobody with these cell phones. But I get it. I get they are amazing. They're getting better and better. Cool. However, if you don't know the techniques,
thank you.
You don't know the compositions. Shit's still not gonna help you.
Right.
That's why some people can shoot with a DSLR and it look like it came straight out of a cell phone.
Right.
All right. Then some people can shoot a cell phone and it looked like it came out of a
What did I
professional
miss?
camera.
Yeah, and I've done that. I've shot that way before.
It's on screen.
Yeah.
And especially with film, like everybody think they could just they see one movie done off of an iPhone and be like that's what it is, but you forget that the person that was actually doing the photography, the DP of that movie, was actually a
director,
videographer.
a videographer who used
videographer.
every piece of
right,
equipment that they could attach.
No, they did it off a phone, but
Yeah,
but
because
they
he
have
has the knowledge.
He still
of
needed.
how-
He needed the skill to be able to
Still
set
gotta
the
have the
phone
skill.
up.
but
look like
you
it did.
also know that they make cinematic anamorphic lenses to attach to iPhones, and that's what they
and that's
do.
cool, but it still ain't shit without composition.
Right, but I'm
It
saying,
still ain't
but
shit
I'm
without
saying,
composition.
wait a minute, but see, this is what I'm saying, and they are billing it like you can go to the store, buy an iPhone, and shoot this shit,
Yeah,
and you can't. Unless you go buy the anamorphic lens attachments that go on the camera, unless you buy the extra GBs
but
you
you can
need
do
to
all
store
that.
it.
And still get your composition wrong, and it'll be a crap shoot.
Yeah,
Right.
you can do all that and still take bad shots.
Of course,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
It
you
don't
can still do
matter.
all that.
And they'll
That's
sell
shit.
you anything because small rigs got a whole freaking rig.
Yeah,
for the-
small
for the
rig got
iPhone
you.
Pro.
You could get a
So-
digital rig for
I
an
know.
iPhone.
I'm gonna grab one, but
Oh
but
god.
but here's the thing though. It's like without the skill and the knowledge of it, you still
It's
gonna
still
be
crap.
shit.
It's
You still
still
gonna be
crap.
shit.
Yeah.
Always. Still gonna be shit.
Right.
All right. So like you shoot it with your iPhone and shit, like, oh, that's why when you go out and you hear people like, why my pictures don't look like yours? Because you ain't got the eye like I got. It's the eye. That's it. That's what I want to speak.
That's
It's your
all it is.
fucking
Because
eye,
guess
yo.
what?
Right.
Nobody sees what you see. No, we can look at that speaker right there, and I bet you there are 3 things that I see that you don't see, and 3 things you see that I don't see.
I see more than 3 things. But go
And
ahead.
No, what I'm saying is that we could talk about, we could write down what we see on that speaker, and then when we go back to our notes, there'll be 3 things that you didn't say and 3 things that I didn't say because we have different eyes, and we could bring Scott in, and he's at a different perspective than us. I'm lower than you. You're higher than me. You're at a different angle where the light hits differently. You're at a different angle, and you're higher than me. So all of that plays into how you see things.
Absolutely.
And people don't understand. I mean, I went to a studio before and got yelled at for moving a light. Can I say this?
That was funny.
Can I say this?
That's the grown man, Clique.
You can't fucking take pictures as a professional photographer and not fucking move lights. How the fuck are you going to get a great image that nobody else is taking unless you move lights? You cannot have lights set in the same position and not get a different picture than anybody else. You're all taking the same picture. You're photocopying. Stop it. Don't do this to photographers. Teach them the real way to take pictures. Come on. Photography is capturing a moment with light. That's what photography is. You have to use light to capture a moment. And it's high intensity, low intensity, medium intensity, left, right, up, down. There's so many things that you have to do to make that picture your art.
It's a GTA cheat code.
So left, right, up, down, center, or whatever. But I mean, that's the whole idea. We're not saying that people are out here just like. Well, actually, we are. We're saying people are out here disrespecting the art of photography,
Which ties right back into model safety. Because guess what? If you're not serious about this, we're not saying you have to be an artist to not do this stuff. We're saying you don't have respect for other human beings, period. But most people who are doing this crap that causes us to have model safety networks are generally not as professionally involved with the art as a lot of us are.
right?
You're not
Well,
serious.
right. They're in it for a totally different reason.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Period.
So do we need to talk about GWCs?
Whew, man. There's a bunch of those.
Because I believe that ties into model safety way more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I mean that's all part of it too.
When you have GWCs, so if you're still on the podcast, you understand that there are photographers and then there are GWCs, guys with cameras. There are people that can afford any piece of equipment that they want. They can go out here with their cards and charge every piece of equipment in the world. And the only thing they're worried about when they buy that equipment is how to get you naked, how to see you naked, how to catch images of you naked, and not worry about ever giving you any of those images, but making sure they have a spank bank full of naked pictures of you and your friends who thought because they had the greatest, brightest, and shiniest piece of equipment that you had to pose naked for. And then you're wondering why you can't get your images from.
And a lot of people will fall for it because they see all the high tech equipment and instantly are like, oh, they must be really, really good. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And that's not the way to go. I was in a situation like that in Martinsburg, West Virginia, I believe it was. It was a Christmas formal shoot. Everybody was wearing like formal, black and white, long dresses, tuxedos, and a GWC showed up with a bag full of lingerie. It wasn't even that kind of shoot. And we're all looking at him like, what are you doing? Like, this was put out like a long time ago, but you're trying to change the whole theme just to, I don't know.
I heard about that from somewhere. I don't remember who told me. Hey, that shit is wild, dude.
Yeah, I really don't like calling people's names out because they'll burn themselves anyway when they do it. But it was an absolute mess to show up to a shoot you were invited to. You know the theme, and then you show up with this bag of trashy lingerie, and everything was formal, like it was a Christmas shoot. Like we were shooting up against a Christmas tree and like unwrapping gifts and the holiday dinner thing. They had like a long like dinner table set up with like crystal plates and stuff like that. And then this guy rolled up with a bag of lingerie and we're all looking at him like, what are you doing? But again, that was the guy that had all the good and shiny stuff trying to persuade people to do that. And luckily, the group that I was working with that time, they all knew because they were all agency represented. But I guarantee you, his name got drugged through that agency like no one's business.
Right.
Oh yeah, for pulling something like that, you don't show up to a Christmas event with the lingerie. That he just signed his death warrant. That's a death move.
Yeah, and then he wound up stealing one of my lenses because he was mad at me, saying that I like took some of his stuff, and I was like, "Why do I need your stuff when I like make my own clothes, dude? Don't get mad at me because you got called out on your bull."
Hey Van, I need some shorts, man.
What color?
I ain't sure, but I need them to be like short. So you can see my knees and shit. Like, yeah, man.
Make them long so you can see his ankles.
Do not make him wear his caps, please.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Yes, give me all that. Give me all that. I like that.
I might actually make that just to see. I like testing my limits too. So I might make them some crocheting pants with just the knees out. How about that?
Shit, I'm with it. I'll wear it right here on this podcast.
Van,
No, you won't.
Van, make
right here
I will make sure we play
Van.
close-ups only that night.
Van, make him
I
some
said-
periwinkle culottes, yo.
Oh man,
That's
Yo,
right.
this is the Grown Man Clique podcast. I'm J.I. Jerry. To my right is,
Got T.
to my left is,
Richie Rich is in the building.
we got John and Van Go on the screen. And this has been an amazing conversation tonight. I'm like, we know we started off with model safety and we haven't deviated from, it's about photography. It's about the energy of photography and being professional and being one who works in this industry and making sure that you do something that's positive and works with the people that are in the industry. You can't do this and be thinking about yourself. It's about the art.
I
It's
have,
about the culture.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did I just age myself because I used the word culotte?
Yeah, you did a little bit. Because you said culottes out loud in public and it ain't the 80s.
We're making a crack, so you never know.
Yo, I respect you, Rich, because I know you was asking what the hell are culottes.
Hey, I was gonna ask, can I get the blue flavor?
He the Kool-Aid.
Oh, this GMC, this is what we do, man.
Yeah, this is what we do. I mean, this has been a great conversation. And I mean, Jasmine came in. I don't know what's going up in them where's she at? Gettysburg streets, but they need to take some of them damn railroad ties the black people put in the street up so that they can get some good Wi-Fi because it was cutting out like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well.
Next time she off, JP, get in the studio.
Huh?
Get in the studio for the Grown Man Clique.
Yeah, well, the whole idea is that I remember we were reaching out to people to see that we could put this show together correctly. I think that, I wish that there were more models who are present because there has to be a balance.
Right.
And I still don't think we did the subject justice because without the balance of models and people who are who are purveyors of these safety groups.
Secret society.
They're not a secret society. We know they exist, so it's not a secret society. But what I'm saying is that, we want to make sure that we treat this as unbiased as possible.
Right.
Because, think of it this way. If there were only photographers, like right now, talking about model safety, it's biased. When Jasmine came in, that gave it a little balance. So we were good. Right. When Kamara was online and she was feeding us comments, that means that it was still balanced.
Hold up.
So
if you're a model and a photographer,
then you need to be.
It's a little balance.
Right. Then it's balanced. But you're not a model.
I'm a knee model.
You are not anything.
I'm a knee model.
I know a few models that actually took up photography just so that when they're shooting, they understand what the photographer is at least doing.
I know a number of them. Right.
And that's prevalent today because it's easy.
So I wonder, are they allowed?
I mean, I'm really actually on that. I'm really.
Are they allowed to get to the list?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, that's what we need.
So I should be able to get into the list because technically I'm a knee model and a photographer.
Technically, you're
I should be allowed.
Technically, you're not. No, you're not.
Technically, you're an ass.
I should be allowed it.
No.
But I mean,
setting up selfies of your knees is not you being a knee model. No.
Yeah. Shit. When Van make my shorts, it's going up from there. I'm being that bitch like.
You know what? Van's not gonna make you anything until you spell culotte. You gotta spell culotte first.
Right now, watch.
I don't need to spell culotte. I just like the green flavor. That's all I need.
Well, anyway, I think it's about time for us to wrap this thing up. We did a good job tonight. I think we really hit on some good subjects and some good topics, but we don't want to belabor it because then that demeans it. Right.
We did a lot of good subjects and predicates.
Anyway, first of all, yeah, we heard that shit. Yeah, he's using context clues over here. So. Wow.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I'm not.
I went to school.
You're the last person in Baltimore who reads. I appreciate that.
I gotta read. I'm a writer.
Well,
I have no choice.
You remember all them benches, right?
Huh?
That was Kurt Schmo who did that. Huh?
Yeah.
There would be no
Don't please.
There would be
don't
no
go-
Kurt
please.
Schmo slander.
No.
There
And, or when I'm here,
would be no Kurt Schmo
none,
slander.
none.
Rich still didn't give me a color.
Huh?
A color for your kulaks.
The color for your culottes.
Ooh. Let me see what would match what J's I got.
Oh my God.
That works.
Peach and seafoam green, man.
Anyway, we gonna get ready to wrap this up. We had an amazing show tonight. I would like to thank all of our on stage guests. We had John Van Gogh, we had Jasmine Perez from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and we had the dearest Teddy, the sophisticated Grizzly up in this camp, and we did an amazing job of exploring this model safety.
Yes, sir.
I think we've got to have one more show on this because I think we need a balanced panel.
We do.
So I will say probably the end of March, because Black History Month is going to be all about Black women.
Yeah, we'll have to put out a date, I guess, and just start sending it out to models to be like, hey, this is when we're doing the show. You need to come by. This is what we're talking about. Jump in.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a hold of a few people and see if we can plot
Don't
everything.
get a hold
out.
of them because then you're breaking the model code.
See,
You better talk to him.
John, we ain't about to have you. Listen, you know what?
It puts the lotion on his skin.
You know, John in there looking for the ropes and handcuffs and shit.
I'm gonna get a hold of a few people. We want to go home.
That's the opposite of what we talking about.
But anyway, and also to like Eric and Anthony Little and Kamara Hamilton, and I'm just looking down the list trying to remember Sheila, my wife, and we had Lisa, was it Lisa or Lisa? Julie, Matt. We had so many. Jay, Nicole, the model. I mean, we had so many people on Maeve, Bryant Maeve, everybody who was in a camp tonight. Kayla, she was one of the first people in line. So I mean, we just had a great Ron Pringle, all of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We only ask you for 3 things, and you don't have to pay for them. All you have to do is like, share, subscribe. If you do those 3 things, we will keep the Grown Man Clique podcast moving in an upward trajectory.
Yep.
That means that we could get liquor sponsors. Anybody who sees a bottle of liquor behind me that they like, go to your liquor sponsor and let them know that we giving them publicity live on air. I've been drinking Jameson all night, and I feel right. I did not drink at all last night, so tonight it was good to have a nice drink with my buddies.
Also, if y'all want to donate just like a bottle.
Yeah, if you want to donate a bottle to the bottle cart behind us, you can do that. And we will actually say your name on air. We will say thank you for it, and we will drink it as long as it's over $8. If it's under $8, Rich will be the one to drink it.
Yes, sir.
And we will let him take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Black Watch Vodka is his
Absolute.
specialty. He will do that shit. We can't do that. We have a constancy that's a little bit above that. We are older. We are grown ass men.
Yeah.
He's a grown ass man, but we are grown ass men. We can't do that cheap liquor.
That shit sounds cute.
until you destitute and have to drink Black Watch.
So cute. When you get
Drinking some Vladimir vodka. I remember
listen,
Vladimir when I was in college.
When you get that shit in your system, that shit tastes just like everything else.
Nah, because when the Remy in the system,
ain't no telling when I fucking when
well,
I miss
miss 'em.
That's what I be yelling. I'm
I
a
pimp by blood, not relay Sean. I be chase on, y'all
Oh.
be chase on. Ah,
Drunk
that's
off Chris. Mommy, you don't eat. Can't keep a little
the
mommy
model
hands off me.
Both in the club, singing off key. And I wish I never met her at all.
It gets
That's
better.
Order another round. It's about to go down.
Got 6 bottle, Chris. All right,
That's what we do here. We are the Grown Man Clique podcast. I'm J.I. This is
Richie Rich in the building.
Van Gogh done. We getting off of here. Thank you for your time tonight. We love you. Good night.
Hey.
Peace.